And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Trailmazer. Now the front of Trailmazer looks really awesome, right? That's Tron. They're getting into these cool vehicles and driving around. Well, just to give you some heads up, it's really not. This is an abstract two-player strategy game along the lines of checkers and Othello and things like that. It's from Mattel. Now Mattel makes a lot of, mass market style games. This one itself might even fit into that category, but they've also made some pretty cool strategic games. Let's take a look at this one. In this game, one player is going to be the green player, the other person is going to be the orange player. And on your turn, you're going to take a ring, put it in the neutral zone, which is this ring around the outside of the board, and just push it onto the board. And so another player may come and they may push them both like that, or you can come like this maybe and put something like that. Maybe the green player wants to push this row again. And what you're trying to do in this game is you're trying to make a continuous line from one side of the board to another. So let me just play kind of a little bit of a game here. You can see how this might work. And let's see, maybe orange wants to do this. So green player does this because they don't want orange to get this first line like this. Now, green cannot push orange off, and orange cannot push green off, but you can push your own color off. So maybe green decides to do this one. Again, here we have two rows. So orange decides that they're going to move here. Green goes like this. Orange decides to push them. Now orange is going to win on the next turn, so what can green do to stop that? Well, green can push something there. Orange will then push something like that because orange would have had an orange line like that. So green sits there and goes, all right, let's see, how can we fix this? Let's push these more. And then orange says, nope, you weren't thinking. Orange wins. Line from one side to the other. Now that's a very simple game of this. As you can see, there's going to be maybe some more thought put into it, but orange is allowed to do something like this, where they could push their own off, like I said, and get it back. Green could do the same thing on their turn, where they push their own off. You just can't push the opponent's pieces off. Now, if you run out of rings for some reason, and the rules say this, I haven't seen it happen, the other side will keep playing their rings until they're all gone. The components for this game are, they're nice. They're little plastic. This reminds me of like plastic that was used in like 1970s games. The box here has spots where you can put all the rings in from each of the different colors. And the board itself is bland. I do think it's weird. This game looks like it was made fairly inexpensively. But if this is the neutral zone and you can't put a ring there, why was that not made a different color? I mean, obviously the answer is going to be price, but this concept of taking a ring and rolling it on is interesting, but it doesn't really mean anything in the long run, right? It could just be me putting a piece here. And you could have squares and you could just push them. This rolling is a neat idea, but in the long run, like I said, it doesn't really change the nature of the game. The game looks cool. I won't argue that the orange and green rings have a nice look to them on the board itself. But it still comes across like, this game came out in 1977. Now, I play a lot of abstract two-player games. There's some great ones out there. There's some bad ones out there. Trailmazer kind of falls in the middle. It's okay. There's a lot of different, I call them archetypes of abstract strategy games. Maybe it's get 5 in a row. Maybe it's capture your opponent's king or one of their pieces. In this one, it's make a line from one side of the board to another. This is not the first game to do so. This one has the hook on this one is you can push a row of pieces, but you can't knock your opponent's pieces off, so it's not as interesting. I actually understand why they did that, right? I understand the game would just probably devolve into a never-ending if you could push your opponent's pieces off. But because you have that restriction on you of not being able to push your opponent's pieces off, the game feels a little sanitized, I guess. I'm sure that this game could go very long, but our games usually tend to go pretty quickly, especially one person has a line and it's like, all right, there's nothing you can do. You can push this, but then I'll put my piece here. You can push here, I'll put a piece here and win the game. And that's fine. It says 15 minutes in the box, and it is a enjoyable, maybe slightly forgettable 15 minutes. I like the idea of the game, but the okay component quality mixed with the okay gameplay makes this an okay game. And there's a lot of great two-player abstract strategy games out there right now. However, if you like this idea of connecting a board one side to the other, there's not a lot of these games that are currently on the market, so this is a good one. And it does have that shiny 70s futuristic vibe, and that might be attractive to you also. But it's inoffensive, it's nice, it's light. Trailmazer, a good abstract game. Good. Dice Tower Judgment, it's okay.